Do you have an angry customer yelling at you that you just don't know how to deal with it? Or are you always worrying about an angry customer messaging you and you just freezing in the spot and not knowing what to do? Then this video is for you. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about a topic that a lot of you guys have kind of asked me about and said, I've just got this customer and I just don't know what to do and they're just so angry and it's negative and it's making me go, and it's okay. Today we're going to be talking about it because let's be honest, it's a numbers game. You will get angry / annoyed / rude customers. It's a numbers game. Honestly, it's a conversion rate a lot like your sales conversion rate. I've had them, you've probably had them, probably 90% of Etsy shop owners out there have had them, but in this video we're going to go through how to deal with angry customers like a pro. Whether it's your fault or not, that's not what we're going to be talking about in this video. Rather, what we're going to be talking about is how to deal with it and diffuse the situation. I have listed some points that I will be getting into that have definitely got me out of a jam and I hope will help you guys out too. Especially when you just feel like deleting the conversation and just pretending like it never happened. So the first one is know that getting defensive is purely natural. Honestly, when you are being had a go at, or you have something negative happening against you or something that you've done, a natural kind of thing to do is to get defensive. It does feel like they are aiming their complaint at you, when in reality it's either at the item, it's either at your shop, Etsy in general, or even the delivery company that delivered the item to them. Rather than getting defensive, try and make the customer feel heard. Repeating certain aspects of the conversation back to the customer helps them to feel like you've listened and actually taken on board what they've said. Now, I did do a video, and I'll link it somewhere, description box up here somewhere, that what to do when you have a 1-star feedback. And we did talk about this in that video, so go and watch that one next if you are just in a bit of a ranty, angry customer 1-star feedback kind of mood. Just go and watch that. Honestly, it'll really make it easier. The next point is to take a breath and never lose your temper. Losing your temper will only really just escalate things. Literally take an hour break if you have to and come back later on refreshed. Even write out a response and check with family, friends, or even put it in the Facebook group. I'll leave the link to it in the description box below, but honestly, join it guys, write out a response, drop it in there, and one of us will come and help you and kind of give you some tips to try and make it sound a bit better or improve it in some way. But literally make sure to sound off to someone else who understands what you're going through first, before sending it off to the customer and instantly regretting what you've put. Also, just know that customers can literally just be having a bad day. I have had this happen to me before, where a customer was having a go at us pretty well for a reason beyond our own control. So we had given her all of the options in advance for delivery, yet she still chose the cheapest, slowest one, and it missed her special occasion that she needed it for by a day. This wasn't our fault, and the customer was continuously like ranting at us and having a go at us, but yet I continued to keep my cool, and eventually we diffused the situation and it just turned out that the customer was having a bad day. She actually apologized and said, I'm sorry, I wasn't taking it out on you, I really had a bad time. So honestly, this can happen more than you think. So just please give the customer the benefit of the doubt sometimes, because there are a lot of times when they come back and apologize and say, it's not your fault, it's not aimed at you, I'm sorry. Another big thing is take accountability if it is genuinely your fault. I've had this before multiple times and it is a pet peeve of mine. I have literally been, I've had the worst service from a company ever. I've contacted them and they never apologise, like did not apologise once. And honestly, it just really grinds my gears, and it can't be just me. So honestly, just take accountability. If it is genuinely your fault, apologise, maybe even give a very short reason as to why, and then you can just carry on trying to solve the situation and the customer has got their apology, which again, a lot of time is all they really want. The next thing is to always keep the high ground, even if the customer is just being so rude. Now, this does not excuse abusive behaviour. If a customer is being abusive over Etsy messages, report it to Etsy. Honestly, guys, don't ever think that you have to put up with being, abused or sworn at or, horrible things being put over messages. This is just for if a customer is being very huffy and dismissive and just generally a bit difficult and angry over messages. But what I like to do is pretend that a friend in the street is telling me the same thing. So pretend that a friend is telling you about an issue that they're having on the street, because you wouldn't shout and yell back at a friend. You would listen and kind of take on board, but if they said anything that you didn't agree with, you would naturally say so. And I think that's the important thing to think of a customer as. Think of them as a friend in the street that needs your help, but they're not necessarily attacking you personally, unless they are and they're doing it in an abusive way, in which case we'll report them to Etsy, because you do not have to put up with abuse. The last thing I do is I put myself in the customer's shoes, and I would personally feel like I was out of control if I received an item that wasn't up to scratch or wasn't, you know, exactly what I'd ordered, or was wrong, or was damaged or late or anything like that. I would personally feel like the control was taken out of my hands, which it kind of is. Again, I went through this on my how to respond to a 1-star feedback video, but I would feel like the control would be taken out of my hands and kind of just not really something I could actually deal with myself. So I like to give the customer 2 to 3 options that they can choose from, i.e. if a wrong item was sent, I'll say I can resend it, I can refund you, or you can buy another one at 40% off, or something like that. That gives the customer back control, which a lot of the time can diffuse an angry customer. And there you have it, guys. The most important thing here is to realise that just because the customer has purchased from you doesn't mean that they own you. Like, honestly, this is the biggest thing that I think Etsy shop owners feel like, that just because a customer has ordered something from you that they own you, and they don't, believe me. So, also guys, please don't forget to go and grab that 30 Days to a Kick Butt Etsy shop workbook in the description box below. As I said a few videos ago, it will be changing at some point, I don't know when, so go and grab it whilst you still can. Also, go and join the Facebook group that I've mentioned before, because obviously it's a great place to sound off about customers and situations and things like that. Subscribe if you haven't already, give this video a big thumbs up, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye!